In a city that never sleeps, every block tells a story. And in Brooklyn, love can bloom in the cracks of the pavement, just like a concrete rose. Meet Malik Johnson, 22, born and raised in Brownsville. He's got rhythm in his soul and fire in his words. By day, he stacks shelves at his uncle's corner store. By night, he spits poetry in underground rap battles. Rhymes sharp enough to slice through the noise of the city. Malik's got one dream: to be heard, to rise above the grind, to make his story matter. Across the bridge in the South Bronx lives Elena Rivera, 21, daughter of a Puerto Rican single mother who runs a small hair salon. Elena's world is color, rhythm, and pride. She paints murals of her neighborhood, bright wings across gray walls, art that breathes hope into forgotten corners. Elena isn't looking for love, but fate doesn't wait for permission. One summer night, Malik's crew gets invited to an open mic at the Graph House, an underground hip-hop club known for its raw talent and restless energy. Elena's art is on the walls, her signature, a single rose painted in neon red. That night, their worlds collide. Malik steps to the mic, the crowd buzzing. His voice cuts through the beat. I'm just trying to grow through the pain. Roots deep in the concrete, breaking chains. Every scar is a seed. Every word is a prayer. If I rise, I swear, I'll take my people there. The crowd roars. Malik steps off stage, breathless, alive. And that's when he sees her, standing by the wall, spray can in hand, eyes shining like city lights. She smiles. You sound like my paintings look. From that moment, something shifts. They start meeting after gigs, at murals, rooftops, parks. They talk about music, dreams, and the pressure to represent. Malik's rhymes and Elena's art begin to blend. Music videos filmed under subway lights, graffiti that pulses to his words. But the streets don't like peace, not when rivalry fuels the rhythm. Malik's crew, the Iron Verse, has long-standing beef with another group, the Northline Syndicate, led by Dante Cruz, a fiery rapper with a slick tongue and dangerous pride. Dante and Elena have history. Old flames turn cold. When Dante finds out about Malik and Elena, jealousy ignites like gasoline. He mocks Malik in a viral freestyle battle, twisting Elena's name into insults. Malik snaps, responds with a diss track that racks up millions of views overnight. But fame has a price. What started as rhythm turns into war. Crews pick sides, reputations hang by a rhyme, and what was once art turns into ammunition. Elena begs Malik to stop, to focus on their music, not the feud. But pride is poison. Malik can't let Dante win. One night, after another tense show, Malik walks Elena home through the Bronx streets. They stop under her latest mural, a massive red rose breaking through concrete, its petals shaped like hearts. Promise me something, she says softly, that no matter how high you climb, you don't lose yourself. Malik smiles, half warmth, half pain. I'll never forget where I came from, or who I'm walking with. But as Malik's fame grows, so does the hate. Anonymous messages, threats, and a betrayal from within his own crew. Someone's leaking his tracks before release. The rose that bloomed between them starts to wither under pressure. In the city that builds dreams and breaks them, love must fight to survive. And for Malik and Elena, the storm has just begun. The city never stops moving. But sometimes, it slows just enough for you to realize you're losing what matters most. Weeks passed. Malik's name started climbing the charts. His voice was on mixtapes, his face on flyers, his rhymes in everyone's headphones. But somewhere between the interviews and the stage lights, he stopped hearing himself. The Malik who once rapped about struggle now rhymed about status. The words still hit hard, but the meaning felt hollow. Elena saw it happening. The change, the distance, the ego growing in the space between them. She tried to remind him of the boy from Brownsville who rapped about lifting people up. But Malik had traded rooftops for recording studios, murals for magazine covers. Then came the betrayal. The leaked track, the one Malik had written for Elena, showed up online under Dante's name. Same beat, same hook, same story. The internet called Dante a genius. Malik called him a thief, and the streets called for war. The next night, the two crews met in an abandoned subway tunnel. No cameras, no rules. Just anger, adrenaline, and echoing voices bouncing off the concrete. Dante spat venom, twisting Malik's words, his past, even Elena's name into verses meant to wound. Malik's temper burned hot, his fists clenched. Elena begged him to walk away. Don't let him pull you down, she pleaded. But Malik couldn't hear her through the noise in his head. One shove led to another, then a punch. Screams echoed through the tunnel. And just like that, the dream they'd built shattered in a single heartbeat. When the cops showed up, everyone scattered. Malik ran, his mind spinning, his heart pounding. By the time he reached Elena's mural, their mural, the police lights painted it in red and blue. He stood there, chest heaving, staring at the rose breaking through the concrete. The same rose that once symbolized love now looked like a wound. The headlines the next morning were merciless. Brooklyn rapper involved in Bronx riot. Sponsors dropped him. The label went silent, and Elena disappeared. Days turned into weeks. Malik stayed off the grid, back in the old neighborhood, the corner store, the places that smelled like sweat and survival. He watched the world move on without him. The fame, the buzz, gone. All that remained was the silence. Until one day, he found a note taped to the old rooftop where they used to sit. It was Elena's handwriting. It read, "You said you'd never forget where you came from. So come find me, if you still remember who you are." Malik followed the trail to a new mural on a cracked brick wall in the Bronx. It showed a single red rose, its petals rebuilt from shattered glass, glowing under the streetlight. At the bottom, she'd painted his words from that first night at the Graff House. Every scar is a seed. She was there waiting. They didn't say much at first, just stood side by side, staring at what they'd lost and what they could still save. Malik finally spoke. "I forgot what my voice was for," he said quietly. Elena looked at him. "Then start using it again, not to fight, but to heal." Together, they planned a comeback, not for fame, but for truth. They turned the feud into a movement. Open mics across boroughs, where rival crews performed side by side. Graffiti artists and rappers reclaiming the streets with words, not weapons. Their first show back was at the Graff House, the place where it all began. Malik stepped to the mic, Elena's art blazing behind him, and said, "This city raised me, broke me, remade me. I thought love was a weakness, but it's the only reason I'm still standing. This one's for every rose that had to fight to bloom." And as the beat dropped, the crowd roared, not with anger this time, but with hope. The camera panned across the audience, faces from every block, every story, every struggle. A sea of voices rising together, echoing through the night. In that moment, Brooklyn and the Bronx weren't rivals. They were one heartbeat, one rhythm, one city. And in the middle of it all, Malik and Elena. Two souls who had fallen, fought, and found their way back. Because love, like a rose in the concrete, doesn't need perfect soil. It just needs the courage to grow. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more. See you in the next video.